Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add the word Minisite on there. First thing though, just before we do that, I forgot to mention one setting here in the character palette for the word project and for all the other text, and that's down here, the anti-aliasing settings. Now it's currently set to sharp on mine, it may be one of the others on yours, and what it does is it just affects the edge of the text. If I just put it onto none, for example, you can see that the edge of the text is very, very jagged, and if you go through the various options, it just changes the way that Photoshop deals with the edge of the text. And ours wants to be on smooth. It just gives it, as the name suggests, a nice smooth edge. Okay, so that's project now sorted. So we want to add the word Minisite. Now we know it's exactly the same size and it's on exactly the same level as the word project, so it makes sense actually just to copy the word project and then edit that. So we can do that by, if we just grab the layer and drag it down onto the new layer icon. What that does, instead of creating a new layer, because we've dragged an existing layer onto it, it actually duplicates that layer. So as we can see here now, we have the second layer. It's called Project Copy, and it's created the layer exactly on top of the original project one. So now if we double click on that layer, it brings up the edit facility, and again, all in capitals, we'll type the word Minisite and click the move tool to be able to move it. Now just before we move it, if we hold down the shift key, what that will do is it will just constrain any movement. If we hold the shift key and then move it to the right, don't know my left or my right, it constrains the movement just to the left and the right axes. I can't actually move that up and down, just ensures that it stays on the right level as the word project. So if I just position that next to it, again, positioning is not a huge issue just yet, just to make sure it is on the same level though. That will help out earlier. And so we will go through the settings for the word Minisite, again in the character layer, and just looking to, so the colour, I want to be RGB of 205, tab 205, tab 205, that's the grey colour. So we click OK. It doesn't want to be Arial black, it just wants to be a standard Arial, which is here, but it wants to be bold. So instead of regular, if I just grab that and click down to bold, okay, and the anti-aliasing, that's smooth, so that's correct. Now the kerning wants to change, not the kerning, sorry, the tracking, which is this one here that we set to 120 on project. Now you see the text is a little bit too close together on that setting here, so we need to change that just down to -50. And if I press enter, you can see that spreads the text out a little nicer. So with the move tool still selected, hold shift down and just place that a little bit closer to the word project. So that's good. If we just reference our finished design, we can see that's more or less what we will have there, minus the layer styles of course, which we'll deal with later. So I'll just minimize that. So there we go, I have the word Minisite in there.